our guys played pretty doggone good today.
Hey, Ron,
what do you?
Ron, how does this win rank with some of the other games you've coached throughout there, given the situation down 14-0, no Antonio?
It's up there. I mean, and again, in spite of some of the decisions I've made today, they played their asses off. Then this really does rank up there, just because of the fact, who we beat. We beat them in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers. That's one of the storied franchises as well in this league. So to come in and win, that was big for our guys. I'm real proud of them.
Ron, all season long, your team has been resilient. They've never quit, especially in the second half. Where does that come from?
Well, that's kind of something that we talk about. We talk about fighting. There's no reason to stop playing. It doesn't matter what the score is, and I just think that's who they are. These are a bunch of young guys that are learning how to play with some veterans sprinkled in there at the right positions, and I think we're growing and we're learning. We got a ways to go, but I'm very proud of the way they played today.
Hey, Ron, can you go ahead, Nikki?
Ron, what do you make of the way Alex Smith has not only played over the last few weeks, but obviously everything he's overcome and, to deal with another injury out there early in the game? What did you make of his play?
Very proud of him. I mean, again, first of all, this is a heck of a defense we played against today. And he was patient. He took what they were giving us. And that was probably the biggest thing. I really thought Scotty did a nice job with the play calling in terms of, just putting Alex in position to take what they were giving us. And we did. We were very patient. A couple times we took a couple shots, but the biggest thing was we were patient. And that's the most important thing.
Hey, Coach, just curious, what was the mood like in the locker room? What was that? If you could describe what it was like after that win in the locker room.
Euphoria. They really are. I mean, these guys deserve it. We've been down for such a long time, and we're trying to rebuild ourselves and build up. And this is something that we can build off of. And again, like I said, just really proud of the way they played.
Hey, Ron, you guys.
This season, you've had a tough time, I think, getting the offense going if you didn't have either Terry or Antonio against a really good defense today. You guys did that. What do you attribute that to?
Well, just spreading the ball around. I mean, if you look at, again, all the guys that were targeted, and that's the important thing, is because when you start spreading the ball and stop, and not trying to force it, I think it opens more things up. It opened up a little bit of the running game at times for us at the right time. We spread it around. Cam started making some big plays. We started throwing it underneath, whether we were throwing it to Logan or we were throwing it to one of the backs coming out of the backfield. I mean, when you do that, you give yourself a chance to win because, again, they can't just focus in on one or two guys.
Hey, Ron, you guys, maybe struggled a little bit defensively at times in the first half, but then really cranked it up. What changed? What allowed you guys to pretty much put the clamps on them in the second half?
Well, we didn't give up big plays. If you go back and look at their two scoring drives, they had two really big plays that set it up, and that's something that that we can't give up. And again, I'll tell you what though, they bowed their neck and they saved their coach's ass when I thought we had a chance to run a play and sneak one in and they had a guy make a heck of a play on that fourth down, but the defense bowed their neck and saved me. That's for darn sure.
Hey, Ron, what did you make of that fourth down play where you stopped them with Chase Young's tackle?
I just, again, I get it. I mean, the fourth down situations right now, a lot of us are going for it because we know just how important it is to convert, especially when you get, you get in certain positions or certain parts of the field.
Ron, what can you say about your defensive line, who may not have gotten home much, but they had their hands up all night? Just how proud are you of that unit?
Oh, very proud of them. It was one of the things that they were talking about, with the coaches, was getting our hands up. And, he's, I tell you what, Ben's, him firing the ball the way he did, that's going to be tough to sack him.
Ron, when you lose a playmaker early like Gibson, and at the very beginning of the game, that could be deflating, and yet it didn't seem like that really.
I think because we have more than one playmaker, and so it sure is deflating. But when you got J.D. McKissick and Peyton Barber, who really are a good 1-2 tandem as well, there's nothing wrong with that. You got the receivers you got that are making plays. There's nothing wrong with that. And then the tight end steps up and makes some big plays. So there was a lot of pluses, a lot of positives in today's game.
Ron, speaking of the big plays from the tight end, Logan Thomas obviously had the one-handed catch. He had the almost touchdown. Then he has the touchdown. Cam Sims, I guess, can you sort of speak to the effort that he had in this game and as well as Cam Sims?
Logan just continues to grow. You know, I know Pete Haynard really felt that this was a guy that was on the verge of taking the next step. And so when we got him in free agency, it was one of those things, you know, that Coach Pete just felt, hey, here's a guy that we can develop and help him get better. And he sure has. And he's fitting in our offense and just doing a heck of a job.
Ron, are you surprised? Said that? Are you surprised by how effective he is, even despite what you said?
Well, I think what's interesting is when you go back and you watch his tape, it was like, gosh, he really doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but when he's had opportunities, he's done well. So, yeah, you know, it's good to see. To a degree, I'm surprised, but also I'm not, because he has a skill set. I mean, he's got the size, the speed, the strength. He's got great hands, and he knows the game. I mean, he understands the game, and that's very important.
Ron, I saw you congratulating your guys at the end, kind of down there by the end zone. Is that something you normally would do after a big win, or, you know, kind of what was going through your mind there?
No, I wanted to. Usually I come in and collect my thoughts, and I wanted to greet everybody as they were coming in. I mean, they earned it. I mean, they really, and just very proud of what they did today.
Hey, Ron, a lot of guys made, you know, obviously key individual plays, but Dustin Hopkins is a guy who's, you know, kind of struggled at times this year. What does this say? I think he was 3 for 3 today about his performance overall.
And last week he was, I think last week he was perfect too. So knock on wood, it continues. And again, you know, sometimes you get into a little bit of slip. He's worked his way out of it. And he's been solid. He really has, and just real happy with what he did. You know, again, working himself through his situation, and it was a tough field to kick off of today too.
Hey Ron, what did the doctor tell you about Antonio Gibson?
What's my thought on Antonio? Well, we'll see what happens. I'm not quite sure. I haven't talked to the trainers about anybody right now, but I'm about to go in and find out what the situation is.
Ron, what did you see on the interception with Sweat getting his hands up and